Folks, welcome back. Crisis Report, November 8th, 2024. Bosh. Here we are. So, this one is entitled, Will the DOD Resist Orders? Going through everything, of course, everything is Trump. And, Ukraine war and the SMO and the Israeli stuff. I mean, outside of what happened in Amsterdam yesterday, and it's funny, it is absolutely diametrically opposed to which side what happened. If you're pro-Palestinian, I mean, say it was a bunch of Israelis that were begging to be hurt, and if you on the pro-Israeli side, the reports you're getting are that it was the worst thing since. There's literally memes with Anne Frank. So it's fog of war. It is amazing to see the difference between the two, but there is a difference between them, and so we'll cover both sides, and both sides are saying very different things. But the DOD, there's a bunch of stuff coming out now. There's a lot of things coming out with the government problems. There's a FEMA guy that was saying don't help the conservative households when, after a hurricane. Supposed documentation of that. The guy's been fired. And then Elon Musk is, all up in Donald's grill helping him, and, just a lot of stuff going on. But this DOD report is interesting because it just kind of shows the potential if a lot of people in government are going to trash the place before they leave, if they leave at all. I mean, I don't have any suspicion or worries that they're not going to leave, but, they could do a lot of damage. They could do a lot of really crazy stuff before they go. So that's the big concern. That's the big worry. And we'll just have to see. So this is your crisis report. It is November 8th, 2024. You can follow us here and hit the buttons and stuff. Important that you do. We're getting some of the old school treatment you used to get way back in the day, where can't get past a certain number of subscribers and all this stuff. There's probably some butthurt folks in the background that are mad that things didn't go their way, so they got to sit there and never scream into a cry, physically cry with your eyes into a phone and then post it onto the internet. Like if you got Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, that doesn't really go over well. So just don't do it. But a lot of videos of that right now. But yeah, a lot of people are angry and mad. So we do this almost every night, most nights. Basically, just get all the open source intelligence, put it together. Nice 30 to 45 minute perusal of everything, so you can figure it all out. But yeah, there's some chicanery going on in the innards of this place. So I'm so used to it, it doesn't matter. I'm just letting people know. So it is important that you share this out. It's important that you tell people about what's going on here. It's important that you subscribe and all that. Really important, because they have many times. This place has almost been taken out many times. And as I put on to PrepperNow earlier, as I put on to other channels, I've been making a lot of videos today. I was on Rumble. I was on Crisis Report Now, PrepperNow earlier, GIC for those that know. A lot of stuff going on out there. So check out. There's a lot of links in the description, and love to have you all there. But yeah, we're going to get started. It's a Friday night. Fridays are kind of weird. People are out doing their thing, so the numbers, from the stream aren't as big as some of the other places. But last night on almost 200 people on here, and no subscribers were gained or anything like that, which is a rare thing, which tells me that we're going back to the old antics. So we're used to it. We'll just make you aware and move on. So, yeah, we're going to get started now. It's about 5 minutes in. Got, almost 80 kids in the room, so that's good enough for now. So this is your crisis report. It is on Substack, PrepperNow.substack.com. Other links in the description. And here we go. U.S. judge in Texas on Thursday ruled against Joe's program offering a path to citizenship for certain immigrant spouses of U.S. citizens, a blow that could keep the program blocked through Joe's final months in office. Trump made his first cabinet pick, and he's eyeing talks with Putin. Partial UN probe of Gaza war, dead over 6 months, shows nearly 70% women and children. First artwork by a humanoid robot is sold for $1 million or more. Israel Prime Minister orders Mossad chief to prepare plan to prevent unrest at sporting events. Let's see what happens there. That, of course, is in response to the Amsterdam issue. We got more on that coming up. There's big problems going on over there. Israel Army bans personnel from Netherlands travel after the football unrest. CNN urges Joe to appoint Kamala Harris to the Supreme Court before his term ends. Oh, good Lord. Completely new world order is being formed before our eyes. The moment of truth is coming. Old world order is gone. An irreconcilable war is being waged to form a new one. The next 20 years will be no less but more difficult. That is from Putin. Zelensky, there is a very dangerous rhetoric amongst some partners. First a ceasefire, and then we will see. Who are you? Are your children dying? Trump wants a quick resolution to the war in Ukraine, but that doesn't mean it will happen. A lot of people are starting to mention this, saying that, it sounds great, but this is a very complicated conflict, and it's going to take a little bit more than people just saying we're going to end it. So we'll see. I hope he does. As I've been saying since the beginning of this whole endeavor, I don't do this because I like war. I do this because I loathe war, and I want it to end. I don't want people suffering, because the vast majority of people that die are just innocent people, as the earlier post says, women and children. So hopefully he will get it done, but again, there's a big mountain to climb there. Another one, Yemen's Houthis claim they shot down 12th American MQ-9 Reaper UAV over Yemen. Each Reaper UAV costs about $32 million. Orban from Hungary says the U.S. will withdraw from the conflict in Ukraine after Donald Trump takes office as president. War is an acute problem. Ukraine is suffering a military defeat on the front. The Americans are going to withdraw from this war. They say a lot about Trump, but there is one thing that no one doubts. He hates war. Hossein Salami, Commander-in-Chief of the IRGC, says no one can defeat Iran even if the whole world is against it. Trump on Taiwan, he said he suggests that Taiwan should pay for its own defense, viewing United States support as insurance against China. Trump indicated that U.S. defense for Taiwan would depend on economic benefits. Security at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in Florida has been stepped up following his victory in the U.S. presidential election. Robot dogs were seen while patrolling the area. Trump on China, he says a 60% tariff on Chinese imports should happen. Expanded China initiative to combat espionage should happen. Pressure on China over human rights and African influence should happen. And a possible increase in U.S. presence in South China Sea should happen. IDF radio reveals a battle that took place between IDF troops and 3 Hezbollah fighters in Aitarun, southern Lebanon, which resulted in the killing of 6 Israelis and the wounding of others several days ago, according to Al-Mayadeen. Zelensky doesn't want the war to stop. He calls for Ukraine's ceasefire dangerous and irresponsible. Iranian leader Ayatollah Khamenei about the U.S. elections. He said, who wins the election in America doesn't matter to us. We simply don't care at all. Our policies toward the West remain the same, whether this or that person is in power. America is a corrupt, warmongering country. They say one thing and do another. Look at what they did in Iraq and Afghanistan. How their mafia bosses in their military-industrial complex forced the Ukrainians to wage a war against Russia, which they cannot win, and now they support the Zionist regime, as always, without limits in supporting their war crimes and crimes against humanity. Thank you, Ayatollah. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov explains why the German economy is going down. German companies cannot compete in European and global markets because they don't have affordable, cheap energy sources anymore. And von der Leyen, you're going to get up here pretty soon, she has just decided to make it even more expensive for energy. They're deprived of the possibility to purchase them on spot market due to the political position of the government. So that's why no one is going to be satisfied with the government if they simply don't have the possibility to compete because of their political decisions. One of the biggest Israeli news channels on Telegram calls on Jewish groups across the European Union to start setting fire on mosques, Muslims, and Arabic neighborhoods and Muslims gathering centers as retaliation for the attacks against Israeli football fans in Amsterdam. In a post on Telegram, it said, "With me, there will never, ever, ever be crying and misery here. Get out there and dismantle them in the streets one by one. I will leave dangers and anti-Semitism to others. We will leave it to the garbage there. And if we fight back in Amsterdam, all the European Arabs will set the countries on fire. And then the anti-Semitic scum who will suffer their countries to be destroyed. Well, they burn the mosques from which they left, and the same in the mosques. Only force will understand. Let them catch one of them, dismantle him for hospitalization." It goes on from there. You get the point. Dude's totally salty. So, by the way, it's in Europe, it's Islamophobia Awareness Month. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem. You've got a war going on in the Middle East, and then, hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. In Amsterdam, there's, proxy fights going on in the streets. Terrible. Trump courted white Catholics, and they helped him win the White House again. Former President Donald J. Trump's decisive Electoral College win was achieved in part by a strong show of support from white Catholic voters, demographic that his campaign specifically targeted. Following Mr. Trump's victory, a number of Catholic leaders called for prayer, and some offered the president-elect congratulations. NBC News released exit polling conducted in 10 states found that Mr. Trump handily carried the Catholic vote, 56% to 41% amongst white Catholics. Former president fared even better, capturing 60% of the vote. National exit poll from CNN found almost identical results. 2020, CNN reported Biden won 52% of the Catholic vote. Trump carried 56% of the white Catholic vote. So, demographics matter. The top three demographics for Kamala were LGBTQ, Jewish women, and black women. So, not enough of a demographic there to push you over the line. Catholics, there's a lot of people there. America First Legal and coalition of 16 state attorney generals win lawsuits to stop Biden-Harris administration's illegal attempt to grant mass amnesty to countless people that are here now. Today, America First Legal, representing Attorney General Ken Paxton, won a lawsuit against the Biden-Harris administration Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, regarding the unlawful program that would have provided administrative amnesty and a pathway to citizenship to hundreds of thousands of people in the United States that were, of course, undocumented. I'm not missing that word because I want to miss it. I'm missing it because algorithmically it just, you get the point. August 23rd, 2024, AFL partnered with the state of Texas, Idaho, coalition of 14 state attorney generals, and that would be Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Missouri, North Dakota, Ohio, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, and Wyoming. Sue the Biden-Harris DHS and block its illegal executive amnesty scheme. Program has now been officially stopped in court thanks to AFL, courageous attorney generals, and others across the country. Trump will give Israel a blank check, which may mean all-out war with Iran, ex-CIA chief has said. Donald Trump will be the president, giving Benjamin Netanyahu a blank check in the Middle East, possibly opening the way for all-out war between Israel and Iran and former CIA Director and U.S. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta predicted. He, of course, was under Obama. With regards to the Middle East, I think it is basically going to give Netanyahu a blank check. He wrote, whatever you do, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to go after, you have my blessing. I mean, he basically said that before the election. Speaking on the One Decision podcast, which he co-hosts with Sir Richard Dearlove, a former head of the MI6. British intelligence service, Panetta also said he expected Trump to favor allowing Russia to retain control of area of Ukraine held since its invasion 2 years ago. Man, everybody's got a podcast now. Robert Habeck, Germany's Vice Chancellor and Minister for Economic Affairs, has officially announced his candidacy for Chancellor on behalf of the Green Party following the collapse of the ruling coalition in Germany. Qatar has notified Hamas officials in Qatar that they are not welcome to stay inside the country anymore. Must prepare to vacate the premises as soon as possible, allegedly according to Israeli media outlets. Leaves the Arab Republic of Egypt, Syrian Arab Republic, and the Republic of Iraq as the only countries with Hamas offices in the Arab world alongside Lebanon, if the news is true. U.S. government under the Joe and Kamala administration has lifted its ban on U.S. contractors in Ukraine. Oh, goody. American contractors will now be coming in to maintain American-derived equipment such as the F-16, Patriot, and NASAM air defense systems, Stryker and Bradley armored fighting vehicles, and the M1 Abrams tank. Following the events in Amsterdam, the IDF forbids all mandatory and permanent servicemen from flying to the Netherlands until further notice, and all IDF servicemen currently in the Netherlands are required to immediately return to Israel. 2,751 Maccabi Tel Aviv fans are awaiting rescue. At this moment, 7 are out of touch, 5 injured, who have been located in the hospitals, and efforts are being made to locate additional injured. It is estimated that there are between 10 and 20 wounded. Main efforts now, rescue of wounded by the Home Front Command, return of the 2,751 Maccabi Tel Aviv fans who are in Amsterdam on regular flights, and at the same time, until they are returned to Israel, provide hotel security. War in Ukraine, 8 consecutive hours of drone attack on Kiev. Last night, Russia carried out one of the most extensive drone attacks to date, the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. Attacking the alarms in the capital of Ukraine lasted for about 8 hours without a break. Appears the goal was to knock out Ukraine's defense systems. Damage was caused to several buildings, including a hospital. However, so far, only 2 injured are reported in the event, according to NTD News. With all the news from Amsterdam, Amir forgot to report this, and that's that the Houthis have launched a missile at Israel's nuclear sites. Earlier this morning, the Houthi terror group in Yemen launched a ballistic missile towards Israel's nuclear facilities in Dimona. IDF has intercepted the missile. Thank God. IDF spokesman, initial alerts were activated in several areas in the center and north of the country following launches that crossed from Lebanon. Details are under review. National Security Headquarters, in a message to the public, a call to avoid coming to Maccabi Tel Aviv's game in Bologna, Italy, on November 8th. Biggest crook in the history of Israel's politics, Naftali Bennett, is planning a comeback. And those are Amir Sarfati's words, so he would know something about Israel. Funded by the radical left, the same people who have been funding the anti-government protests. Recently, he has been gaining a platform in some major Christian organizations, such as Liberty University. Liberty Bibbidi. Just a reminder, he is the one who betrayed his voters by forming a government with the Israeli branch of the Muslim Brotherhood, the same branch that even a year into the war refuses to label Sinwar and Nasrallah as terror. Trump effect. Qatar informed the Hamas officials staying in the country that they are no longer welcome and must leave immediately. If you want to put the link real quick into the GIC, the super secret backup channel, do that, and then about 30 seconds later, take it away. But mods, if you want to put that in there for a quick moment and then take it away, please do. Growing slowly. I only put like one video a week out. I just don't have the time, but I'm figuring out ways to put out more and more. So we'll figure that out. That's where I go if everything just goes totally to the, whatever, to pot, as my mom would say. So if this were to shut down, that's where it would all go. So please follow me over there. Put one out today. I only make like 5 to 10 minute videos over there. They're not real long. Just a little food for thought. Today is the one about old DJT getting in and what he has to do now. So, U.S. Department of Justice revealed that an indictment was filed against 3 people associated with the Revolutionary Guards for planning to assassinate Trump during the month before the presidential election, main accused of Afghanistan origin. Evacuation orders to residents of some buildings in Beirut were just issued. In a very short time, these buildings will be destroyed. Trump just made $500 million with a single Truth Social platform post, according to CNN. He said there are fake, untrue, and probably illegal rumors and or statements made by perhaps market manipulators or short sellers that I am interested in selling shares of truth. I think he would do it differently than just like start to float it, but we'll see. But I think he sees the potential, and it's not going anywhere. Funny how X and Elon is now partnering up with Truth and Trump. Ursula von der Leyen says she wants to replace the remaining LNG gas from Russia with the one from America, and that's 4 times more expensive and literally deindustrializing Europe. So far, 13 Israeli strikes targeted the southern suburb of Beirut. Iran's IRGC reportedly conducted either a test of ballistic missile or a launch of a carrier rocket from its missile center in Shahrud. Yemen's Houthis show footage of 12th American MQ-9 Reaper UAV being shot down over Yemen. Joe has lifted restrictions on servicing American war weapons in Ukraine. U.S. military-industrial complex companies can now enter into contracts to create equipment repair bases in Ukraine and service the equipment without waiting the Ukrainian personnel to be trained. U.S. recently informed Qatar that Hamas's presence in Doha is no longer acceptable after the group rejected a recent proposal for a hostage deal, senior U.S. official tells Reuters. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. addressed comments from Trump's transition team co-chair Howard Lutnick. He said RFK is not getting a job with or not getting a job as the leader of HHS. Quote, that is not true. The campaign has walked back those statements by Howard Lutnick, and he himself has disavowed those statements. I want to be in the White House, and he assured me that I'm going to have that. I want to be in the position where I'm most effective to end the chronic disease epidemic. Confident that if I wanted to do HHS Secretary, the President would fight like hell to make that happen. Lutnick had previously claimed that RFK will not be given a shot by whoever. United States Department of Justice charges 3 in an Iranian plot to kill a U.S. citizen that opposed the Wilayat al-Faqih and President-elect Donald Trump. according to U.S. media. So I'm not sure of all this. I'm not going to go through all of it. It's pretty long, as you can obviously see. So, I mean, if you want, yeah. Anyway, as much as I like to sit there and read all that, we're gonna let that one go. Basically, I'll read the last paragraph. Charges announced today expose Iran's continued brazen attempts to target U.S. citizens, including President-elect Donald Trump, other government leaders, and dissidents who criticized the regime in Tehran, said FBI Director Christopher Wray. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, designated foreign terror organization, has been conspiring with criminals and hitmen to target and gun down Americans on U.S. soil, and that simply won't be tolerated. Thanks to the hard work of the FBI, their deadly schemes were disrupted. We're committed to using the full resources of the FBI to protect our citizens from Iran and any other adversary who targets Americans. Federal judge has overturned Illinois' ban on semi-automatic weapons. Joe administration will allow U.S. military contractors to deploy to Ukraine. Policy reversed, aimed at helping Kiev maintain complex Western-provided weapons systems, defense official told Politico. Decision was made before Tuesday's election as a way to provide Ukraine with specific technical expertise needed for weapons like F-16 jets and Patriot air defense systems, said the official. That was granted anonymity to speak about a sensitive military issue. Chinese authorities have detained Lian Wang, AstraZeneca's executive vice president of international and president of China. What's going on, Leon? Company stated that it's unaware of any details of the investigation. That makes sense. Internal messages obtained show a FEMA official instructed relief workers in Florida not to assist homes displaying Trump signs. How nice. State of Florida this afternoon, a FEMA whistleblower's testimony leaked to the media indicating that FEMA officials issued deliberate and specific guidance for aid workers responding to the Hurricane Milton disaster zone to avoid conducting visits to homes that displayed signage in support of Trump. Specifically, FEMA agents and volunteers from other departments of Homeland Security divisions were told to avoid approaching homes with Trump signs were displayed, with several leaked messages confirming this policy does exist, and that the residences of Trump supporters were skipped over by FEMA workers, and that aid was not offered to those people as required by law. Afternoon, a FEMA spokesman confirmed in an email with the originating media agency that the reporting is accurate and that extreme actions are being taken to rectify the situation. Pentagon officials, this is the one tonight, are having informal discussions about how the Department of Defense would respond if Donald Trump were to order the domestic deployment of active duty troops and dismiss large numbers of nonpartisan staff. According to an anonymous source within the U.S. Department of Defense, officials within the DoD are speaking to CNN. Senior Pentagon officials have been holding meetings to discuss how the military will resist orders by Trump to display troops to carry out domestic police actions within the U.S. They're also working to undermine possible reclassification of DoD employees if Trump reinstates Schedule F, executive order he first issued in 2020 that, if enacted, would have reclassified huge swaths of non-political career federal employees across the U.S. government to make them more easily fireable. A hysterical article from CNN misquotes previous Trump statements on his desire to drain the swamp of career bureaucrats in the Department of Defense, especially those involved with the Afghanistan withdrawal as we speak. According to The Economist, which itself cites a source within the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, a fifth of all soldiers in the Ukrainian army have gone AWOL from their posts. Yikes. Global war on farming continues. Keir Starmer's communist regime is introducing an inheritance tax to kill off UK family farming, so ultimately only centralized state-controlled farms will survive. Motive is always the same: control the food, control the people. South Korea has caused GPS disruptions for South Korean ships and South Korean planes. So it is going on. So that's your crisis report. November 8th, 2024. Please hit that like button, do the subscribe thing, darken out the bell, and come on back for more. And folks, we will see you on the next one. God bless. Check out the links in the description. Be one of the cool kids that are members here, $2 a month. Maybe even consider getting some of your information over on the old PrepperNow Subscribe Star or Locals. And yes, I did make a video yesterday and today on Rumble. So, love to have you around, okay? We'll see you. Have a good night.